Welcome back. If your parents are packing their bags for the USA, you need to check their luggage before they leave. U.S. Customs just updated their seizure list. So, when you get to the airport, those officers you see, they're from U.S. Customs and Border Protection, or CBP, and yeah, their main job is to stop big scary threats. But a huge part of what they do is also to stop things that might seem totally harmless to you and me. We're talking about things like certain foods or even medicines that aren't packed the right way. These can actually be seen as risks to public health or U.S. agriculture.
And that brings us to our first big red alert. Honestly, this is the #1 issue we see, especially for travelers coming from countries like India, and it all comes down to food. Yep, what your mom calls love in a jar, U.S. Customs might just call a violation.
I know, it sounds almost ridiculous, right? Why on earth is a federal agent going to care about your mom's homemade pickles? But this is serious stuff. The reason is actually pretty simple. It's all about protecting U.S. agriculture. See, tiny pests or animal diseases can easily hide in things like meats, plants, and even in some of the oils used in cooking. The rules are there to stop those from ever getting into the country. And look, this isn't just a guess. These are the facts. Mangoes, curry leaves, and homemade meat pickles are literally the #1 most seized items from Indian travelers. Think about that. That amazing jar of mango pickle, packed with so much care, that could be the one thing that gets them a huge fine and a really stressful start to their vacation. So how do we avoid this mess? Well, you've got to know the list of banned foods. Let's go through the most common items that get people into trouble. All right, let's get into the details here. First up, fresh fruits and vegetables, like mangoes, and fresh leaves like curry leaves. Those are a hard no. Forget about it. Same goes for meat products. It doesn't matter if it's fresh, dried, canned, or just a powder in a soup mix. Banned. Even rice can be a problem because, believe it or not, it can have tiny insects. And here's the one that gets everybody. Those instant noodles, like Maggi, if that little flavor packet has egg or chicken powder in it, boom, it's gone. And of course, the big one, homemade pickles, especially those with oil or meat. Oh man, hit the like button if you've ever had your homemade pickles thrown in the trash by an officer. It hurts, I know. And it's not just your feelings that get hurt, it's your wallet. This is so important. If you don't declare one of these items, the fine starts at $300. And that's just for the first offense. So it's not just about them throwing away the food. You're literally paying a penalty. Okay, moving on to red alert #2. This is a huge one, and it affects pretty much every parent or grandparent visiting from another country. Prescription medicine. And you really don't want to get this one wrong.
So, let's look at the right way versus the risky way to do this. On the approved side, it's super simple. Everything stays in its original labeled bottle. Period. You also need a valid prescription, and it needs to be in English. And you should only bring what you need for personal use. You know, a 90-day supply is a good rule of thumb. Now, on the at-risk side, that's what you want to avoid. We're talking loose pills in little plastic baggies, no doctor's note, or bringing so much it looks like you're planning to sell it.
And here's exactly why that original bottle rule is so critical. To a customs officer, a plastic baggie full of random pills is just an unknown substance, right? They have no idea if that's your heart medication or something illegal. So to be safe, they're just going to seize it. It's just not a risk worth taking.
All right, our final red alert. And folks, this one can be absolutely devastating financially. It's the $10,000 declaration trap, and it all stems from a huge misunderstanding about carrying cash.
So, $10,000. That's the magic number you need to remember. If your parents or your whole family traveling together are carrying that much or more, and that includes cash, traveler's checks, any of it, you are legally required to report it. No exceptions. Now, this is where so many people get into trouble. There's this myth, this idea that it's illegal to bring more than $10,000 into the U.S. So what do people do? They get scared and they try to hide it, and that is the absolute worst thing you can possibly do. Here is the reality. Please listen to this carefully. It is 100% legal to bring any amount of money you want into the United States. You can bring $1 million if you want. The only rule is you have to declare it if it's over $10,000. But if you hide it and they find it, they don't just take the amount over 10 grand. They seize it all. Every single dollar. And the crazy thing is, the process is so simple. Seriously, you just go up to a CBP officer and ask for the form. It's called the FinCEN 105. You fill it out with the correct amount, and that's it. There are no fees, there are no taxes, it's not a big deal. It's just a piece of paper so the government can keep track of money moving around. Whew, okay, that was a lot of information, I know. So let's boil it all down into a super simple pre-flight checklist you can actually use with your parents before they even leave the house. Okay, first, the food check. You need to physically go through their bags. No fresh fruit, no meat, no homemade pickles. Double check the ingredients on those noodle packets. Second, the medicine check. Are all the pills in their original bottles? Do they have the prescription, and is it in English? Third, the money check. You have to ask them straight up. Are you carrying more than $10,000 in cash? And a quick bonus one, the jewelry check. All their personal jewelry is totally fine, but if they're bringing a whole bunch to sell, that has to be declared. And really, all of this comes down to one golden rule. When in doubt, just declare it. Seriously, it is always, always better to ask an officer than to get hit with a fine.
So the big question is, with all this in mind, are your parents actually ready for their trip? Spending just 5 minutes checking their bags can save your family from hundreds of dollars in fines, hours of delays, and a really awful, stressful start to what should be a happy visit. Please share this guide with them. Send it to anyone you know who has family coming over. We have a full checklist of allowed medicines in the description. Subscribe so you don't miss the H-1B lottery update coming next week.